Okay, so 2022 Truck Series predictions. Why the hell do the Truck Series playoffs begin in July? I do not understand. It's still regular season. The regular season is not even close to finishing either Cup or Xfinity. Couldn't they wait for the playoffs for at least like one more month at least? But that's what happens when you bunch a lot of regular season races so close together, or like early season races so close together. Stuff like this tends to happen. The Truck Series, they really tend to take a lot of breaks, but the way they did it before was like at the beginning of the season it took a lot of breaks, and then in the second half of the season they ran most of the races in the second half of the year. But now it's like the complete opposite. And with the addition of the playoffs, it's even more frustrating because you have like a month-long break between races. Like you have 15 weeks to run only 7 races. That's about a race every 2 weeks. And how does that even work? I don't understand. But anyways, I feel like this is the most competitive Truck Series playoff grid in terms of not only depth, but also in terms of how many guys I feel they can make it to the championship for. Because when one simple look at this grid tells me that there are about 6 guys that I can see making the championship for. And all 10 of these guys are very capable of making it into the round of 8. So it's very competitive. And so I had a really rough time deciding who was gonna be eliminated where, because there's a lot of things that can happen, a lot of moving parts here. So, but I'll do my best anyways. First of all, round of 10. Also, another side note: I am so happy the round of 10 kicks off at the IRP. I'm so happy the Truck Series returns to IRP. It's one of the more underrated short tracks. I feel like. Also, the little Indianapolis, as they like to call it. I really like IRP. I think if Xfinity has the chance, they should also return to IRP, because I really loved like trucks and Xfinity back in the day running in IRP. But that's a side note. So yeah, I'm gonna say this right now. I don't think Matt Crafton or Grant Enfinger are gonna be eliminated in the round of 10. I think they're both going to advance, which means that two of the other 8 are gonna get eliminated. And I feel like the first guy that could get eliminated is gonna be Ty Majeski. Again, Majeski has had a great season, but I feel like, you know, he is somebody has to get eliminated here, and this just comes down to the fact that the playoff field is just so much deep, and I just believe in Crafton and Enfinger more than I believe in Majeski. Another guy that I have eliminated in the round of 10, and this is really just barely eliminated, it's Christian Eckes. Again, I like Eckes a lot. I feel like he has deserved to win, like, you know, a race or two this year. He has been in position to win like a race or two this year. If a few things went right for him, maybe he could have at least 2 wins this season and could be like up there with. We'll be talking about how he's like a championship 4 contender. But again, lack of playoff points is gonna hurt him, and also once again, just like Ty Majeski, the playoff field is just way too deep. Look at these guys he has to go up against. You got Zane Smith, Chandler Smith, John Hunter, Stuart Friesen, Hocevar, Ben Rhodes, and then Crafton and Enfinger, who are just 2 greedy veterans that, even though they enter as the bottom 2 in the playoff grid, I believe in them more advancing because of their veteran playoff experience than these 2 guys. So. But again, this just comes down to the fact that it's so hard to predict, because even if I have these guys like in the round of 10, eliminated in the round of 10, I can very easily see them in the round of 8. Maybe Crafton doesn't advance, maybe Enfinger doesn't advance, but I just find it hard to believe that either of those 2 things is going to happen. I feel like these 2 being out in the round of 10 is more likely than either or Crafton or Enfinger being eliminated in that round. So speaking of McCrafton, yeah, I think it's gonna get eliminated in the round of 8. Yeah, I know. 3 ThorSport guys. I got 3 ThorSport guys not making the championship 4. Like, I'm showing no love for that team whatsoever. But yeah, Crafton, I feel like he can make it. He can sneak his way into the round of 8 like he always has. But I just don't think he's like championship 4 worthy anymore. Again, once again, Crafton managed to sneak his way into the playoffs somehow, some way. And I feel he can, you know, with his consistency and some like attrition. Like when it comes to war of attrition, Matt Crafton is the master at that. He's just going to bide his time, run like, you know, top 10, top 15-ish. And then if something happens to the other guys, it's just going to turn on the jets and charge into the top 5. That's just how it works. And it worked for him in last season. He almost stole a win at Martinsville, and he almost advanced to the championship 4 now. I don't know if such a scenario will repeat itself, but the fact that he is here, means that, you know, it's got to be doing something right. Grant Enfinger, you know, I'm not gonna lie, when the season first started, I thought when Enfinger was first announced to GMS, I immediately thought this guy was gonna be like championship 4 material. Like, I really thought. I thought he was gonna be Cherolet's best driver and he was gonna be like championship 4 material. That hasn't been the case. He hasn't won a race yet. Could he finally win a race in the playoffs? Sure. But compared to these other guys, I just don't see it happen. But yeah, Enfinger, I think this is where the journey ends there for him too. And now we're gonna move to the 6 guys that I believe have a quote unquote realistic shot at making it to the championship 4. And let's start with Carson Hocevar. I feel like Hocevar is the biggest wild card this season. Not only a wild card, but also a dark horse to make it to not only to the championship 4, but also win the whole damn thing. It all depends on one thing. Well, 2 things actually, but they're closely linked together. So it all depends on whether he can win a race, and it also depends on whether he can keep the momentum of that race win going. Because Hocevar has come so damn close to winning a race this season so far. And he just hasn't been able to get the job done. And you know how we've seen it with guys like, you know, Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson in the Cup Series. All it takes is just one win to get things going. All it takes. One win, you get the monkey off your back, and you immediately just find another level. I feel like Hocevar is one win away, his first career win. He's one win away from becoming a title contender. If he wins a race in the playoffs, I believe that vaults him into championship 4 conversations. It all depends if he can keep up the momentum down there, but I feel like Hocevar has the biggest potential to like shake up the playoff grid. He's the biggest wild card in this playoffs. But for now, I got him in the round of 8. That's not to say he's not going to win a race. I'm not saying that. Maybe he could win it. One of my preseason predictions was that Hocevar will get his first career win during the playoffs. But I don't see it likely. Look at the guys he has to go up against. These are like the 5 best guys. This has been the 5 best guys all season long, and I just find it really unlikely that Hocevar is going to wrestle these guys away from a championship 4 spot without him winning. And even with a win, and even with him being a win and having the momentum, it's a tall order because he has to keep the momentum. He has to keep the momentum going. It's not just about winning. It's also about putting together a string of good results and good finishes. Just look at Matt Crafton, for example, how he won that 2019 title. It was through pulling a string of great finishes together. And so, anyways, we're down to 5. One more guy has to go out, and I'm gonna say it's Ben Rhodes. Yeah, I know. None of the Thor Sport guys are gonna make it to the championship 4. I know. But the thing about Ben Rhodes is, I rewatched the 2021 season, like his championship year, and I just realized how much of that championship was just the other teams beating themselves more than Ben Rhodes beating them. If you know what I mean, because in the other, if you remember that 2021 season, Ben Rhodes entered the playoffs with negative momentum. I mean, he won the first 2 races of the season, but then he didn't win after that. He was consistent, but he didn't win a bunch of races after that. And then in the playoffs, it's not that he won. It's not that he won or he just put together some good finishes, because he put up a string of good finishes together. But if you look at his competition, Todd Gilliland and Austin Hill, they were eliminated early. Sheldon Creed caught fire in the playoffs, but then he quickly fizzled out. And John Hunter Nemechek, if he wasn't finishing top 5, he was crashing out. Meanwhile, Ben Rhodes was just consistently running top 10, just putting together, solid results, solid finishes. And all of that culminated in him just winning the championship out of a war of attrition. And it's not that the other team it's not that he beat the other teams. It's not just that, but that championship, that Ben Rhodes championship in 2021, it came more at the expense of the other teams beating themselves. That's not to say that he didn't earn it. He definitely earned it. I mean, somebody has to win the damn championship, but I'm just saying, Ben Rhodes didn't win that 2021 title due to domination. Also, the first thing that came to my mind when that Phoenix race ended was, we really are living in a timeline where Ben Rhodes is a NASCAR champion. I just could not believe it. I don't hate Ben Rhodes or anything, but this guy just doesn't strike me as a champion. And I still find that sometimes I still forget that he's a Truck Series champion. He is the defending series champion. So, yeah. Rhodes is not advancing because he is pretty much entering the playoffs in the same position he was last year. He started out great. If he finished top 5 in every single race, it felt like. Also, the one race where he didn't finish top 5, which was Las Vegas, where he crashed out, he swept both stages. So if he didn't crash out, it's very possible he could have finished top 5 in that race as well. And he also won the Bristol Dirt race in the process. But ever since that Bristol Dirt win, he has not finished in the top 5, I believe. Maybe he has like one top 5 after that Bristol Dirt win, but like that's about it. His average finish has plummeted, and he is entering the playoffs with negative momentum. Call it a championship hangover, call it something like that. Call it whatever, but I don't think Rhodes is advancing because of that. Now, a lot of people and I know what a lot of people are gonna say, that Rhodes, he wasn't a favorite to win the championship 4. He entered with negative momentum last season. But the thing about Rhodes is that championship of his last season, it took a very specific set of circumstances for him to even be in the championship 4. I don't know if those circumstances will be able to repeat themselves. Like, a lot of contenders, a lot of big players being eliminated early, the rest of his competition just crashing out. And that was pretty much the theme of the 2021 Truck Series, which is why I also believe that title was a great redemption arc from Ben Rhodes, because the perception after the Eckes incident in 2020 at Texas, it wasn't the best perception. And then we go 2021, he wins the first 2 races. He stays consistent while everybody else is just crashing out, and he ended up winning the title out of a war of attrition. So yeah, Rhodes earned that title. He got the best average finish of all full-time drivers too. But it also took a lot of like specific set of circumstances, a lot of guys being eliminated, beating themselves, and this playoff field is just so much deeper now, where anyone, all of these guys are capable of making the round of 8, and these guys, him, Hosevar, and the rest of these guys, these 4 down here, they're all capable of making the championship 4. Also, couple that with the fact that Rhodes, once again, he enters the playoffs with negative momentum. I just feel like this championship hangover is going to be more than enough for him to prevent him from repeating this year. Not only repeating as champion, but also not making the championship 4. I just don't see it happening. So this is going to leave us with these 4 guys as the championship 4. Saint Smith and Chandler Smith, they are the only 2 guys with multiple wins in the playoff grid. So I feel like this I feel like these 2 guys are pretty much safe unless something like catastrophic happens, but I feel like these 2 guys are going to be in the championship 4 at Phoenix. John Hunter Nemechek, he may not be his 2021 regular season self anymore, but he's shown that he can still turn it up. It's just that the playoff field is just stronger than it was last year. Also, the fact that the rest of the field caught up to him. But he is still a title contender. Even if he just has like 1 win this season, don't sleep on John Hunter Nemechek. He's still a title contender. And Stuart Friesen's had a bounce back year too. Great bounce back year. I believe for parts of the season he had the best average finish of all like Truck Series drivers. And he's been also great all season long. He got that win at Texas, and he's got a knack for avoiding trouble. Something that he really struggled to do in the past couple of years is that he got a crap ton of DNFs. Right now, he's not. I don't think he's really crashing out a lot. You don't see Friesen crashing out a lot. And again, I know winning matters, but consistency matters just as a lot. And Friesen, when he's not winning, he's usually just, finishing top 10, top 5, or maybe a top 15 at the very worst. That still matters, and I think Friesen can make it to the championship 4. That and the huge amount of playoff points he had from doing well in the regular season. Not as much of Saint Smith, of course, or Chandler, but you get the gist of it. Now, I feel like, with that being said, I feel like these 2 guys are not safe. Saint Smith, Chandler Smith, I feel like these 2 guys are safe as far as making it to the championship 4 goes. But I could see either one of these 2, Hunter or Friesen, they could very easily be replaced by Hosevar. If Hosevar wins a race and goes crazy, then I feel like this will mean that either of those 2, more than likely, is gonna be eliminated, and Hosevar will replace one of those 2. But as of right now, I believe that I trust in these guys making a championship 4 more than I trust Hosevar winning a race and maintaining that momentum. I also trust these guys making it to championship 4 more than I trust Ben Rhodes to make an attrition run to the championship 4 like he did last year. But yeah. As for who I think will be the champion, Friesen runs really well at Phoenix. If Friesen makes it to the championship 4, he's going to be a threat to win the title at Phoenix. John Hunter Nemechek is going to be looking for redemption. That's a fact. Chandler Smith, he has emerged as a new top dog at KBM, and he also ran pretty well at Phoenix. So he's going to be a threat to win, an even bigger threat than Friesen, in my opinion. Again, I feel like the championship will come down to these 2 guys. Because Saint Smith, he also ran well at Phoenix. He ran top 5 all race long. It's just that Ben Rhodes passed him late and he lost the championship because of it. But, Saint Smith was almost champion last year. It was the championship runner-up. Again, back in 2021, back when he was with GMS, Saint Smith didn't strike me as the type of guy who could be a Truck Series champion. But now that he's broken out and, he is... he has become like a hot prospect for Ford, because he even made his Cup Series debut for Keselowski at Gateway, Roush Fenway Keselowski at Gateway. I say Keselowski because Brett was the one who personally got Saint Smith the gig. But anyways, yeah, Saint Smith, I feel he is the champion. He ran very well at Phoenix, and now he is running even better. He is just broken out, having a breakout season. He's found another level. He is the regular season champion. All that stuff. He's also entering the playoffs with some huge momentum. He has been either winning or finishing top 5. I feel like. So yeah. Saint Smith, as of right now, he is my champion. But again, I gotta say this. This is an obligatory mention. This is something I say in like every video I make. Every playoff video I make. I am not 100% sure this is how it's going to play out. Maybe Hocevar goes crazy, makes it to a championship, wins a race, makes it to a championship 4, wins the whole damn thing. That would be like a great Cinderella story. And that would be like a great Cinderella story if it were to happen. Maybe Matt Crafton, maybe he points his way to the championship 4. As unlikely as it is, it's still in the cards. Maybe Enfinger wins a race too, and he makes his way to the championship 4 too. I wouldn't sleep on Enfinger. Maybe Ben Rhodes shakes off the championship hangover. Maybe Eckes wins a race, just like Hocevar. Maybe Eckes wins a race too. There's a couple of good tracks coming up for him that he can take advantage of. Maybe one of these guys fall apart, and one of these 6 guys take their place in the championship 4, or maybe one of these guys. Eckes or Majeski, I don't know if they can make it to the championship 4, but they are very capable of making it to round of 8 for sure. It's just, again, that this playoff field is just so deep. This playoff field is just so deep. A guy that could very easily be eliminated in the round of 10 can make it to the championship 4. And also adding the fact that there's gonna be like a race every other week on average. Like again, 7 races in 15 weeks. These Truck Series playoffs are gonna be really unpredictable. That's the conclusion I've come to. This whole playoff field, this whole playoff prediction video, yeah, it's just a ploy. Yeah, it's just this whole playoff prediction grid. Yeah, it doesn't matter. These playoffs are unpredictable. This was worthless. This was unnecessary to make, but anyways, that's all for my part, and goodbye.